Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing really well. Got some good work in this weekend, and definitely looking to trim a bit from the hot list, just to get it a little more manageable. Doesn't mean we won't still trade some of these, but I think it'll be good to really focus our attention.
Yeah,
And
I think in the first like 4 or 5 months we've done this, we've just kind of built our database on things that work for us together that we can see TA and flow. Like you can't really do that with Apple, right? We can't be trading Apple.
yeah, yeah,
So we've kind of compiled a big list in the last 6 7 months, me and you, and switching that over. My suggestion was switching that over to watch list and then like a smaller hot list. But yeah, like you said, some of those plays they're just gonna happen um, over time
yeah.
or whatever, right? Like SD right now is a great example for me. It's at 16. It's a good time to add it. I can tell you that for the next 5 weeks. Until it either breaks that support or it gets a little bit of news, it's not going to move. Predicting that's really, really hard.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it will. If oil futures spike, you could get a 6-7% move out of SD on any given day, but you might just give it back the next day. So
Yeah, and,
yeah,
for me to trade that, I'm looking for that move from 16 to 20, that 25%, right? And
right, yeah,
so it's kind of like needs to be fresh in the mind, but on the hot list, like, is it really going to do anything? And we have so many plays that have a higher probability. Um, I think it's time to highlight those. I think that's the best way to say it. Like we should just be highlighting those a little bit more, because
yeah,
you always have like the feeling, and then I usually have like the stars aligned. Feel like FFIE. I think it was last week on that Monday. It just there was just no way. The flow read had us at one level, and then the chart said the same thing, and it took off. And for me,
yeah,
that's what we really that's what makes us unique. So
yeah, and like I mean, I remember with RFP, I was seeing that, and I'm like, there's absolutely no reason to buy calls at $20 on this stock unless it's going to hit that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not like one that is volatile and you just take a gamble on. I mean, it had a heavy insider ownership. There was something coming. I didn't expect it that fast in one day, but yeah, no, I agree, and really, these are these are pretty safe. These ones we're highlighting that EVTL is a good example
yeah,
where the only thing that would have been risky on it were July options. The August options were not particularly risky. I mean, you can go as small as you want to. You could put $20 in it, or 80 or 100 or whatever. And it was so beaten down that you're not likely to just lose your lunch on those in a day. Um, they. I mean, I guess they could have had an offering or something, but the flow was just so good on it that you could just park some money there and just wait it out, because that's exactly what the whales did. They bought those for weeks, not knowing when Friday was going to happen. They just knew it was going to happen.
yeah. And I was in the same boat. Like I kept listening to the same. I kind of got you down the way your verbiage is because you're like a really mono. You don't have highs and highs or lows and lows. You won't be like buy this fucking stock. Um,
Yeah.
but that one I felt like all right, especially after RFP. Like I'm not gonna miss this move. It's low risk for me just to buy 100 shares. I mean, if it goes to zero, it's $300. I'm not fucking worried about it. Instead of going my full position, having a couple $1,000s in it, and then a dollar move kind of taking a hit, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah,
I still and it changed the game for me. I still have those. I didn't try to high point those. I just kept it.
yeah,
I had 280 was my entry. 283 I think was my entry. And about halfway through Friday, I was like, shit, this got 100% for me. But normally I'm taking my dime or my nickel or my quarter. I mean, I would have probably got out pre-market on that trade if I would have been full position. So Um, I'm starting to camp a little bit of money in those plays um, as well because the flow reads are just so strong. I kind of picked up a couple months ago that through like the our process, like they're guessing as well on a lot of things.
Yeah.
They don't have the date right. Um, but the repeat hits kind of show you where their interests don't lie, right? If they won't let something go, there's a reason for it. And I think you're starting to notice that a lot on your end.
Yeah, I am, and I really, reading flow, it's actually ended up sort of being the opposite of what I thought going in. I thought the largest stuff would be where you get the most accuracy, but really it's the outliers. It's the mid caps and the small caps, and I mean I honestly like I go bullish on oil, not based on what Exxon and Oxy are doing in the flow, but when I see Dino, when I see SD, and just the clarity you get with those smaller caps is great. I mean, there's some limits to it. The penny stocks that are like sitting at like a 2.5 C and they're trading below that, you can't really do much with those.
Yeah.
But there's that kind of sweet spot there of stocks. Really, for me, it's like the $3 to $12 range. In general, like that's where some of my strongest flow reads are coming in, and I'm still, and I'm still learning, and I'm still learning to put more, put more emphasis on those. The run on solar is a good example. Like, I day trade Enphase and I catch good moves on it. Well, I can do that, or I can go into run and swing that and catch a move over the course of a week, and it's a it's a lot less effort on my part to I don't have to micromanage
Yeah.
that position because it gets green, you scale out, you see what the rest of it does. If it comes back, you just pull the plug on the trade, but you already won. And getting us into trades where we already won and we're just managing what's left. I mean, I think that is where I want to see the room go.
Yeah.
And
Taking that risk
you know,
out for sure.
yeah, and I mean, option scalps are fine, but like if it's an amount of money that's gonna stress you out or upset you if it doesn't go your way, then the position's too big or the style of trade isn't right for you. So I think that's part of learning too. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then on the share side, I preach that all the time. Getting your stop loss, trying to get a good enough entry that you can put your stop loss at entry or maybe a little bit above entry, and just let the trade happen. If it comes back and hits it, it's a no law. I mean, uh, you lose a little bit of your weight on the day, right? But your capital on the day. But other than that, it's just all about risk, man. It's taking the chance. If every time you
Yeah, yeah,
if every time you threw your fishing line in the water, you lost the lure, you're not going to be fishing for a long time, and that's kind of how you got to
right.
approach this.
Yeah, and like EVTL is not going to have a rug pull that's going to hurt our entry. It's going to
Yeah,
get Starboy.
yeah, yeah,
The guy who bought at 450 or whatever. I mean that um, you know you could get hurt on a trade like that, but that's the difference between people who actually do the work and get in early, and the people who see it run and just try to catch a small chunk of a move on something like that. So
that's a great example because like I probably wouldn't have stayed in that position. I probably took it at 5 to be honest with you. But as soon as I seen guys like him getting on it and trying to push it, I'll hang out.
yeah,
I mean, and that it used to be the opposite. If they'd mention a stock, I'd just walk away. But a good entry changes the plan, 100%.
yeah, right, and well, you end up selling into the FOMO people, but you're not the one who scammed them. That happened later. So like you know what I mean. Like you're already in it, um, and they're trying to push it for another 30-40%, and that's when we get out. But yeah, I to get one or two of these a week. I mean, that's a little more than luck. So that's felt pretty good that we've been able to do that. And
And the big ones, like the name brand, not some side stuff. Like the
yeah,
one that's hitting all the socials, the one that's number one on FinViz, the number one on StockTwits. We're finding that early.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for like to kind of bring this all the way around back the horn, I think if we can focus in, maybe us do um, a little better work on saying, hey, these are the ones. Um, Super focused. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So all right. So let me take you through some of my new stuff here, and then we'll go from there. So first one I want to look at is Wow. So Wide Open West. It's a internet broadband company, American, it's in Colorado, and I've kind of been on this one for a little while, and it had a pretty significant downturn here. Like I caught a little bit of a move in May on it before it collapsed, and I'm just kind of seeing the same thing I saw last time, but actually am a little bit earlier on it. So let me give you the strikes here.
Real quick, I got a 1650, 2250 channel. Your current trend's holding 18 real well.
And what I have on it is 2250 for August 19th. And I've got heavily bullish sold puts at 1750, same expiration. So basically, the flow is the channel, and it's an upside move through the channel. That's kind of what I see on this one. I don't know that it's going to break out and go beyond that. That's not really what I'm what I'm looking for on it. I mean, I'd love to see leaps to 25 or something. Not seeing those quite yet. I think that might happen if it if it does start to hit this uptrend. But yeah, I think move to 20 is high conviction, and it's pretty smooth on my end from 20 to 22. So I think it might be a full move up that channel.
That's real close to your all-time high. So if you see 25s, I bet it gets there. Just because there's nothing in
Yeah.
the way. There's nothing in the way for that next 10%. I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think you get 20 back to 20 no matter what. Even if it's not the full move. Like the 20 is volume profile on your 1 year. So love it.
Yeah, I think any kind of just mildly decent market days will get it to 20. I agree. Next up for me is Yelp. Getting back on this one. The last time I tried this one, it kind of fizzled. I think just a lot due to market conditions. I think it's actually probably in a better spot this round, and it's one just in terms of how I would want to play this. I want to get options like a month out on it. Which, when I say that, that also just means that like it would work for shares on that same approach. Okay, so what really stands out here? We're sitting at $27, and the sold puts at 27 for August 19th. Very strongly bullish, and I have flow on it to 32 and 35 for August as well.
Previously charted, we had 28.93, which is just a sub 30 dip, and then 34. It had trouble at 30. This looks like the flow's a little early. Do we have an event here in a couple 8-4? Is that earnings?
Yeah.
Maybe it's set up for that. That's kind of what it looks like on my
end. It's one of those with monthly options, so we don't get that refined view of things for the earnings run up or anything like that. Anyone who's in on earnings, is going to be buying these because the other ones, the July just expired. So anyone's going to be doing it is going to be in on this 819. And so what you just said, the trouble at 30, that's what happened last time. But the position, it was too close to 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but now that it dipped lower, a move to 30 from here um, is actually a pretty decent move on it. So that's kind of where I'm at. This to me under is kind of invalidated if it parks under 27 for too long. But barring that, I do think that we'll get that move to 30, and from there, if Wales want to push it to 32, 34, I think they could easily do that given the volume on this thing.
Yeah, I think you got like 2650 is kind of your May low. That would be my I have my stop right under that if I'm on share side.
And yeah, and by the way, that exact approach, the stuff that breaks down below those May lows, I just stay away from them. And that's what I did. Like net, I haven't been on net in a while because it did that. And so even though some of them have recovered some, it's just not a setup I feel confident in until it actually kind of reestablishes itself. So this one's down at kind of on the edge, but I'm just going to try to catch the bottom on it, and
The May
because it
low,
flows.
the psychological thing behind the May low, if you just look at it like so, the May low is a support and resistance line. Um, the people that bought there, they'll add to the position. Oh, I'm getting the same price. Oh, I'm getting the same price, or close to it, as long as it's above it. As soon as it drops
Yeah,
below and they're underwater, it just takes that out of it. You don't get people adding to the positions. People aren't averaging down right now.
yeah,
And it just completely goes. Maybe they sell some, and it's just that's why the downhill continues after you break that level, in my opinion, right now.
yeah, and it can accelerate fast. I mean that
Yes.
you get those heavy. If you're in a stock that's close to its May low, and we get one of those -3 to 4% SPY days or something, those stocks are in some trouble. Those are the ones that drop 8% or something on a day like that. So yeah. All right. So next one I have up is Carvana, CVNA. And who was asking about this the other
Someone's
day?
holding it at 20. I think it was either vegan or I think it was vegan. I think it's vegan.
Yeah, this so I that day that it went crazy, I had a line at 2143 that it bounced off of, and then it's kind of dipped, below that, and this 1945 is like my kind of my bottom on it, and that was just the sort of the TA formula I use. But all right, so we're kind of in that range. But in terms of flow, what I'm seeing is some really interesting leaps into the 30s on it, and I just think that this one is a company that's in some trouble, but just a stock that's just so obliterated that these leaps to 30 in January, which are trading around $400, are getting bought up like crazy, and then the sold puts at 30 as well, and it's the same whales doing that, and so those deep in the money puts are they essentially function like synthetic shares, like it's
Yes.
control over you want control over shares for less money. That's what they're doing, but it's a very bullish position. So for them to buy that while this is under $20 got my attention,
What was the number
and
again?
I definitely think that short term we could see a move to like 25, 27, and that would not surprise me at all.
What were your leaps at? Sorry.
30C for January 2023.
Okay. This chart, we put a trend line on it a while ago because it was in a severe downtrend. It over the last month has traded sideways enough that it's flipped volume profile to 21 on the 1 year and 24 on the 3 year. So it's actually built great support down here. I don't see it. I don't see this going to 15 without a catalyst to take it that direction. Um,
Yeah.
but picking a number on the top side, it's ugly now. It because it was so. I mean, it was $170 stock at the
Yeah.
first. The first of the year. It was 250
Well,
at the first of the year. It was 250 at the first of the year. So, um, you trying to read the volume profile, you got to follow the flow here. So I like it off of 20 right now.
yeah, exactly. And I have no idea about the long term future outlook or anything like that. But $30, $32. Yeah, I think it can move to that, and it can happen pretty fast. So it's a lot of ways to trade it. I mean, you can park some money in it, around 20. I think you do fine on that. You can scalp options. There's not a lot of incentive to play weekly options to me. I would at least go 2 weeks out on something like this, because it can go against you pretty quickly. But even like 2 weeks out, if you get a 5 to 8% move on the day, that's probably 40% on those options. So the premiums move really nicely on it. So it's definitely one to watch.
On the share
All right.
side, I love these P because you can, as long as you can put your risk under like 18, like if you can put your risk at like 1750, you can hang out in this, and that move to 30 is 50%.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't put 20 grand in it if you can't lose 2,500 bucks. You just can't. If you can put 200 in it and losing 25 bucks is okay. This is a great spot to camp because it's either you're losing the 25 because we were wrong, or you make that move up and you get closer to 75 100 on the full move to 30. Um,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this isn't Disney at 92 where, oh, I can just keep this for 15 years. Who cares? Yeah, I mean, there are some possibilities this company could go under, but short term in this zone, it's got a lot going for it.
agree.
All right, so my next up is again.
That's been all in my crap for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Trading sideways.
And so yeah, so this we're we're kind of right in the middle of something here. I think I would really like to add it around 12, but given the timing of when we do our lists and everything, this is as good a time as any to get it in, because the flow on it to 15 and 16 is really strong. So I've got 15 and 16C for August 19th. 16C is trading at around $45 for then. So it's you can scale into a position there. Those options might dip to $30 or something like that. I don't think they'll go much below that, as long as this consolidation little zone holds up. But I really do. I see this breaking out of that and getting into that 16. Got some leaps to 18 as well. Not a huge amount, but
I like that.
I think it could easily do that if it breaks out of this. Really, it's a little under 15 is kind of what it needs to break for this to go, and that's what I see it doing.
I don't know when we charted this, but we have 1098, basically 11 dip, and 13,473, so right below 14. This thing's ran this channel twice already, um, in like the last month and a half. So just finding the breakout, and you said 12. I got 11. So yeah, 11 to 12 is where I prefer to add, because we are kind of in the middle of the channel right now.
Yeah.
But this is a previous winner. If you look at the day chart, this thing's beautiful. I like when I pick a stock up and our lines have been respected outside of May lows here.
Yeah, for sure.
So great.
And so again, if you're wanting to get in on options, August 19th is the date to look at, and
15s and 16s.
15s and 16s. Yeah, no reason to go further out of the money than that. I mean, you're pretty cheap if you're trying to trying to do that. Put pony up your $40 and let's see what happens. All right, so all right, next up for me, this is a Chinese ADR, TAL, TAL.
Okay, yeah.
And this is
education, isn't it?
Chinese education, yeah.
Yep.
And okay, so what is it I'm seeing here? I mean the chart kind of looks like it's breaking down a bit to me. So this is purely a flow read, and I'm really interested what the TA side is going to say. So we're sitting right at $4, and the flow on it is to 10 and 1250 leaps. Sold puts at 4. Some shorter term stuff to 5C in August, but yeah. So the whales, I mean, they've been buying up January 2023 10C every single day. They just keep buying more and more of it as it's into the selling. So that was enough to get my attention. I mean, especially on a Chinese ADR. That's kind of a setup I look for.
5 is your volume profile on the larger time frames, but there is a gnarly gap from one bad week, from like 7 to 20. So 12 is like the 12 one would be like mid candle of that. It's atrocious, but right now you're running into 5. Good shelf at 350.
Yeah. So that's like just when I look at a day chart like this, and I'm pretty kind of a novice with TA, but I'll look in like it's like it looks like it's going to fall more to me. I just sort of get that sense that like the RSI hasn't quite dipped enough. I see 350 sitting there, so I mean that kind of would be the spot I would want to add it. Would be 350, and if I'm adding those leaps with the whales, which is probably what I would do with this one, or you could do shares, then I can be patient and wait on that dip to 350. Probably would add a little more down to 3. Not sure I'd add much below that though.
The conundrum for this stock is 350 is obviously the perfect dip spot in my opinion, but if this thing gets going with volume above 7, you should be scalping it. And I mean those are two entirely different trades, because 350 to 7 is 100% difference. But I would definitely have a note that if this gets into the 7s to keep an eye on it, because there's just nothing there. There's nothing there at all.
Yeah, and this is sort of like the deal with these Chinese ADRs. I'll be in Baidu or Baba or something, and I'm like, oh hell yes, I got my 4% move, and then I look and like Beak is up 60%, or like Tal is up 40%. I mean, they just if you just get like the one, some of these can go really crazy to the upside. So
I missed mine this week. Did you see it? My
no, which one?
LGHL.
Oh yeah.
Fucking 60% 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's they're it's wild what those can do.
Yeah, they're
because I mean really a lot of what it comes down to it is when you're dealing with a profitable communist government is basically what you have. They have policies that really bottle these up so much that any relief they just explode, and any kind of policy change or anything like that can just really send these, given where they're at right now.
100%.
So that's why we like them, especially late in the week.
These are not investments long term at all. These are
Right.
I
Yeah.
really wouldn't be unless you're getting them on the bottom. I really wouldn't even be swinging these because you could wake up one morning and it'll DI you. You just be
Yes.
gone. It'll just be gone. So
And okay, so let me see. Next up, we can get a little uranium, LEU.
LEU. It's a new one. Pretty day chart.
Yeah, definitely like that. So, if you've been following the news, uranium is getting rebranded as green everywhere you look, and really, the there's not a scientific reason for that, in my opinion. I think it comes down to Russia really putting the squeeze on Europe for energy, and also Japan, and them just saying like, screw this, we're going to do our own thing, and we can do, we can fire up these nuclear plants and um, take care of our own energy needs that way. So what you have here is I have leaps to 65 in October. That was one that got my attention. And really, in terms of the kind of the shorter term, move to 30, 35 is pretty high conviction for me in August. So I think we're about to get a decent uptrend on across all uranium, and this one just had the most upside in the flow for me.
Your day chart is sexy as hell here. I love it. Um, we have 33.55, which is real close to that 35. It's your volume profile on your 1 year and your top end volume profile on your 3 years. So that lines up great, that 33 level. The only thing I'd be concerned about is this when this did dip, it went into the teens. So this has range. um, 17 was the May low, 65 is the elite call. That's quite the range. So I like it. For me, that's when you can go a little smaller position and hang out. Oxy mentioned.
Yeah, and I mean the last run on uranium in November, which well, this is where that was where we started to get into like UEC and CCJ and all those, and so this one just went nuts in that and up into the 80s. Not saying we're going to get to that again, but definitely could see those 65 calls actually go in the money. Could definitely happen.
It's our favorite time. Stupid question that everyone probably wants to ask that I'm going to ask. So, where does this chart have to go for those 65s to be of value to people that bought those 65s, in your opinion?
Okay. So, because they have so much time on them, you'll start to see returns on them pretty quickly. Let me just give you a scenario here. Okay, so they're trading at around $30 right now, and if we were to get a move to 30 like $30, let's see, like $32 in the next week, they'll be trading at 42. So you'll gain
30%.
Yeah. So and then if we get into like if we go up to like $40 in let's say the middle of August, they'll be trading at $1.05. So you don't need to get above 50 to start seeing a return on these. Just a stable uptrend. You're gonna double these. I mean, if uranium goes on a run like it did last time, you'll go up. These will go up like 2,000% or something. So really, like to me, like let's say if I were to buy 4 of them and come out green on 3 of them that pays for that last one,
Yes.
and it looks like we're in an uptrend, I would just keep the thing and just manage it from there. Because once you get above 50, all the way through September, you're over 500% on it. And so then it's just like, walk your stop up, or do whatever you want. But these can really pay large, and that's what happened with lithium. It's happened with uranium before. It's happened with oil. Like, when you get a commodity that wants to make a move like that, it's the safest kind of swing you can have in the stock market, in my experience. It's just not as susceptible to reversals as tech or crypto or something like
that. This only got a 12 million float too, not heavily insider owned, but the small float. This thing moves dollars with the trend. I like this as the more the risk reward ratio for uranium, where the other ones we play that they're not going to move 25% in a day. This thing can.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I will be I'll be targeting those October options. I maybe the 65. I might go a little lower, 55 or 60 or something. But anyway, yeah. So that's my plan there.
Like it. Another good find, P. I like this a lot.
And let's see. All right, so a large cap I want to look at, and then I'll have one more new one after this. So I got 2 left. So I've got MVST.
You've been mentioning that for a bit.
And I'm sorry, this isn't the large cap. This is the smaller one. Okay, so all right, so MVST, Microvast Holdings, trading at 226, and this when I set up my filters for technology stocks and kind of filter out the Apples and Nvidias of the world, this really pops up a lot. And I've got a very smooth trip in the flow to $3. I just really high conviction that we hit that in August on these August options. That means it could happen before that, but that's what they're targeting. They probably plan for those to be in the money, and I say that because I got 5C and 6C leaps on it too.
I think we talked about this week. That 280 stands out. We got to get back above that rather quickly. But the volume profile is still $10 on the 3-year. We have 7 kind of where it failed in April, I think. Maybe March. We had 7 up, and it's just been downhill since then. Just needs for me. It needs to test that 280 or get back around there. If not, it does have another level down.
Yeah, and the only thing that concerns me a little bit is like 2P is bullish for 819, but I want it more bullish. Like I just want them to really, like, they're kind of like nibbling at that, selling that. So I think they expect it maybe to dip a bit more, but when they go in heavy on 2P, trying to catch the overly bearish retail people, that would be a great sign. Now I wish we had something more around 250 happening as well. Like, that would help. They're just, for some reason, they're going for the round numbers on it. I just don't see a lot of 250 activity, but yeah. So I just like the upside here, and I think we can be patient and not try to catch the bottom, like you said. Let's see if we can reestablish something at around 280, and then after it clears 3, I think it's going to keep going.
What was your higher number? You said you were seeing
6
and 6, right? 6.
6, yeah. For September, 6C.
This another one where, I mean, normally in my head I'm like, all right, buy 1,000 shares, um, but the risk and the management it puts me in, it takes too much time away from something I'm not necessarily a plus on. But buying 100 shares of this, whether I get the $3 move and get $75, or I get the $6 move and I get $300, I'm fine with putting two in here and letting that go down to even like $1.50 and saying I'm wrong, um, because the sizing works for me. So managing that on some of these plays I think is crucial, because that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the EV TL one. I'm just gonna plant 100 shares on this guy, um, here under 230, hopefully.
And all right, so my last one is a large cap, and it's a crypto stock, and it's one we've kind of been talking about. MSTR. This is the one with if you follow crypto on Twitter, Michael Saylor, the guy who's like went in so heavy on Bitcoin. Basically, his company's kind of make or break with Bitcoin at this point. And I'm wanting to play options on a potential crypto pump this week is kind of what I'm thinking. And this has room to the downside to collapse into the 160s. So there's some definite risk here, but it's also not risk that's just going to catch you off guard, because of all the crypto stocks, this one is really just tied strongly to Bitcoin prices. So you can sort of play it with that. And what I have on Flow, I've got 220 for this week. I've got 250C for next week, and into August up in the 280s. There are a few bearish contracts at 200p. So again, I mean, there's some volatility here, so you got to kind of know what you're doing. It's a stock to scalp for options, but it's one that's going to move, that can move a lot larger than most large caps. So you could see a 18% move on this if crypto pumps this week.
I put this here. Sorry, I'm updating one of my watch list. MSTR. It's got range. The 200 level looks huge right now, but you can dip down into maybe 185. That would kind of be my line, if you're on the share side. I like the 280. That's the gap. Yeah. I don't got much on this one, P.
It's
145 on the 3-year. That kind of, I mean, that's your May low, but I think we've trended out of that.
Yeah, and it's all about crypto sentiment, and I think if you don't trade this one, like having a crypto stock on your radar this week is a good idea. Riot, Mara, Hut, whichever one of those, coin. But yeah, I mean, this is one that just hadn't really been on my radar much, and just has popped up over the last couple weeks. So whales are very interested in what happens with this company, and they're gonna make money whether it goes up or down. And so I'm just kind of along for the ride on that.
We'll get into that later. Yeah, good. I love it.
Cool.
Is that it for you?
Yeah, that's my new stuff.
All right, let's so how are we just going to be real strict on parameters on the old stuff? Do you want to have a little conversation on what we're looking for here on the old stuff?
I have some, like, basically, if it's not looking like ready this week, let's just cut it and then revisit them as a our sector watch list, which is going to be a new section on our page, because we've done this enough that there's those permanent stocks in each sector that we're going to keep coming back to, but that we don't need to highlight every week. So we're going to be doing some big trimming right here.
Okay. Yeah, and then and in general, like the way we kind of have a hot list, and then we have your notes, and then we have my focus notes, right? So there's
Yeah.
the hot list is kind of the come together what we both see right now type of thing. So
Right.
getting back to that, and then yeah, like Chegg and yeah, a lot of these they're not going anywhere. They're going to be tradable regularly, which is why we're on them. And really the limited risk is why we trade them.
Yep.
At least from my end. Perfect. All right, so let's just do that then. AA earnings this week. That would be the only reason I would want to keep it. I'd have to see something on your end.
Yeah, so I did actually see a bullish turn in metals to close out the week that has me really curious about what's going to carry over. So I've got ADC on AA for October. I've got so I've got
60 should be lit.
Yeah, I got 65C as well. That's for September. 55C for August. And in terms of sold puts, 4250 is bullish in the sold puts. So seems like they're kind of expecting a reversal in metals here.
I like it as an ER play if you think it's going to be viable this week. If not,
we'll keep it. Okay. We'll keep it for that reason. Yeah.
AFRM.
Let's see. We'll take it off, but I mean, definitely a fintech to watch that could easily run to 30 in decent market conditions.
Yeah, I have it running into 25, getting real tight right now. It's just not offering the risk reward. If this thing drops down to 2019, you just buy it and play it back into the 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. AMRS.
I do want to keep this. It's in the 180s. This is a pretty good spot.
Yeah, that's
to add it. Really one of the safer plays we do.
If you throw this 180 up right here, you can see it 177 to be play that back to that 223 channel. Love it. ATEX.
No, we can get rid of that.
I'm patting myself on the back right here, boss. BAC.
Yeah.
BAC.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good. And they haven't even had their earnings yet. There's a sympathy to see there. I mean, I don't know. That was a hell of a move.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to keep it this week because of earnings, or do we?
No, I think that can come out on the day if we need to.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? 10%? A lot got cooked in there.
Oh, and by the way, I want to revisit this. Do you remember when I said that JPM earnings are not indicative of what the other banks are doing?
Yeah.
It happened again. Yeah. Like that, they just can't get it together. Whereas, C and BAC are kind of they seem to have managed the recession or whatever we're in better than their peers. So not all stocks in the sector are the same. That's definitely the lesson there.
You're going to find that out this week when they all report, KeyBank and all of them. You're going to find out this week about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I wouldn't. The banking is a sector I wouldn't play like EV or crypto where they're just all going to be good. That's never. I mean,
yeah.
It's so competitive. Beam, I'm going to dump. I'll just alert that when it gets down to 12. Boyle.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like anyone struggling at all, put boil and cold and just play those for a few days
I
and
read
see how you do.
I read that in chat somewhere.
Yeah, I did too.
um,
Good wisdom.
do you want to keep this on? I guess it goes for both of them. Are they going to be hot lists, or they should just be something you're trading right now because of the natural gas situation?
Yeah, I mean, I get right. It
I,
could just go. It could just go either way. I mean, natural gas is going to move this week. We can take them off the hot list, given what our parameters for the hot list are. But we'll be talking about them for
yes.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, this is my spy. I mean, I used to trade Gush until we got above that 120. Um, dumbass because it went to 250. But I like these better. These are super tradable. If you just Yeah, they're super tradable.
Yeah, just take a peek at futures and
I don't want to
pre-market.
I don't want to say this because I'm still like vetting the strategy, but you can when it moves, like natural gas prices move either way, or like there's news, you can buy in both of these and have tight stop losses, and you'll win on one more than you'll lose on the other
Yeah,
on the share side.
right.
Um, I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's possible. I've looked at it like because it moves too much. It moves like $7-8. Um,
Yeah, I remember when I cold was the one I found, and
mm-hmm.
I found it because it hit the unusual whales alerts, and I was doing some research on ETFs, and it was almost like it felt like how do more people not trade this or know about it? Like it felt like I found a cheat code for the market or something, and which is like I was skeptical. I'm like, but it just kept going. I mean, cold got so beaten down. I was like, you can just put some money in here and just wait. It's gonna go back, and it just exploded. And
I
now it's sort of just giving you that volatility.
I don't think we had a better tag team in the last 3 months than Cold. We found that at 6. We told everyone to wait for the split buy in the teens. It went to 35.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're back in the low 20s on it right now. If I was just going to camp in one, that would be the one I camp in, is Cold.
Yes, yeah. I mean, imagine what's going to happen when the war in the Ukraine ends. That alone is going to send it. So
it's going to shake some things up.
yeah.
BlackRock.
Yeah, we can take it off.
Okay. Synex.
I'm going to put this in my sector watch list, but I'll take it off the hot list.
It's in my focus notes too, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
I like the 7 level. I just don't know when. I'm trusting that flow read to 12. Chegg. That's probably another one.
Yeah, I mean it's a great one to learn. Nothing in particular to hot list on it right now.
Perfect. Yeah, 18th solid if you're in it. Cook.
You have a reason to keep it this week?
No, I don't have a reason to keep it. I like it, but I don't have a reason to keep it.
Okay, I'll take it off.
If you're in it, watch it around 4. It needs to confirm 4. If not, get away. DCFC, not even a question. Datadog.
You're gonna see this one in my options watch list, but I don't know that we need it on the hot list.
Okay. That 107 is where it fails every time. I don't know if it's better to play it the downside or back to that where you're at. But this is
yeah,
great options.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I don't think we're gonna get below 90 again. That would really surprise me. So it could probably flip right here, but move back to 100 and on the option side is pretty high conviction, and that's probably the strike I'd play on it too. But
perfect.
Yeah.
DNA.
Just I mean, I love this one. There's nothing in it this week for me to hot list it, but
Perfect.
definitely healthcare sector watch list.
Yeah, it's eating that. It's confirming 3 really well. I don't know how long we'll be trading there for. It needs a catalyst besides Kathy. Um, DNMR.
Um, that has to be painful to take off, but yeah, I guess I will.
I feel
Sector watch list.
Yeah, I feel you, but I mean, we've made the move. We're kind of in the middle of a
Yeah,
trend.
yeah. Gotta,
It's on.
ripping off the band-aid.
Donut. It's that
Um,
long term to 21, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, because it's more of a long-term play. It's kind of like a simmer list instead of a hot list.
Yep, yep.
Definitely a food stock I love, and that'll be in my sector list for sure.
Perfect. EXK silver. The one silver. I think it's the only one we have on here.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll take it off. I mean, a silver. It's just they've really got it pinned down. It's kind of surprising. You're going to see a good run on silver, and the longer they hold them down, the better it'll be. But no reason to hot list it this week.
Perfect. FSR.
I actually do want to keep this one because I see a scenario for this to run to $11 fairly quickly.
I love everything about it. It's one of those ones that like this one's the ones where like Tuesday you say, oh, the flow read came in for FSR because it's not going to come in on Sunday. It's going to come in on one day.
Yeah.
I love everything about them, and they do have a ton of catalysts coming up next quarter with their ocean. So love it. Fubo.
We don't need to hot list it. I think everybody knows how we feel about Fubo.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of notes on it.
Go.
I still have the same thesis for GoGo. Don't have a reason to hot list it, but I'll be talking about it.
Perfect. GPRE. Green Plains.
Play this off my sector notes. It did give us the move that I was looking for, but I'm not gonna hot list it. Although I think 32, 34 could come pretty quick on it, but
I got 32.76 on my end. You don't see.
Oh well.
You don't see continuation here.
Let's keep it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it had such a good Friday was kind of a confirmation. I don't see it just giving that back. So yeah, we'll keep it.
Yeah, I think if this gets into the 30s, I think we get 33. I love it. Hawaii, HA.
I do like airlines. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, but just watch my sector notes and industrials on airlines. I think we could get a decent week on these.
It says ER the 26 as well. I can't see them doing bad on their ER. I know so many people that went to Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I know. Me too.
Hood.
Hood.
How's that not inside bar? That's inside bar.
I actually do. I want to keep Hood.
I wouldn't argue.
$9 to $10. Gonna come soon.
Moment of truth. Hut.
Yeah. I mean, with what crypto's doing, I almost have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. IDEX. It keeps rejecting 80. I think you only have the dollar flow reads though.
I do. Yeah.
If it's not strong.
Yeah, flow might be strong, but I just can't tell. If it had 50-cent calls, be a
Okay.
little easier. But yeah, we'll take it
Yeah,
off.
let's take it off. IMAX.
Given our new definition of the hot list, I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna re-add it in the sector watch list because I still think um, this is a really nice stock. A lot of stability here.
Yeah, almost like there's been a few of them here that it's almost like we need a leaps list, like a watch list, because I mean this is a long term
Yeah.
play to 20, that I see it happen. I mean, come on, movies are hot, and
Well, I think that what we need to do on the sector watch list, I mean, is just an emoji leap. I mean, that's what the whale site has.
yeah,
So
I like it.
we'll do that. Yeah.
I like it. JMIA. I thought this was Smashing Friday. I was wrong. I mean, it stayed flat, but I thought we were gonna smash Friday.
I don't have anything A plus on the flow right now. I'll return to it
Perfect.
when I do.
Kodak. This is gonna be a tough one.
I
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's so good.
It really is.
I think it just we can highlight it more through the sector watches than we can on the hot list, and because it might just consolidate for a week, but yeah, we'll be talking about it, but we'll take it off here for now.
Or you guys can just set your goddamn alert at 460 and trade around that. It's not
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It's not hard. Love it. Then cold we kind of already covered.
Yeah.
Lemonade. Almost got aluminum lemonades mixed up. It's another one. Like, you just kind of trade the level.
Yeah, lemonade will be in my notes a lot, so I don't know. We don't need it here, but
do you have anything right now, Flo Reed? Nothing crazy. Like 24s.
I have flow on it, but I kind of need to see because it had a good day Friday. I need to see what sticks tomorrow.
Okay.
In terms of open interest, but you're starting to see leaps to 30 and 40 on it.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
I like it. LUMN. That's Lumen. Spell it out, John.
Lumen.
Where did we start?
I just see so much to 12. I want to keep it.
Okay. We're way above trend on this one. So I like it as well. I would want to see those 13s, 12 and I mean for the huge move. 12 makes sense though. NNTV.
Yeah, I was a little early on this. I'm gonna take it off for now.
Okay. Mo.
Hope some people traded this. It's been good. This will be a permanent sector watch for me on consumer defensive, but we'll take it off the hot list for now.
Perfect. MQ. Need tens.
Let me check the flow on this real quick. If I've got tens, I want to keep it.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that's holding up well above the May low. But that 10's huge on the chart.
Yeah, 10C is a little bearish right now, okay. So that's a little concerning. But
it's fintech, so
yeah.
Nat. That other shipper that chart's crazy. That Sting. Scorpion tankers. My God.
Yep. You'll put Nat in your notes if you see something. Yes. Yeah, we'll take it off for now.
Nat's one of the ones that's a 185, 180 range. That's when you add currently. NCR.
Gonna end up putting this on my leap list,
Okay.
taking it off the hot list.
Okay. Nikola.
Uh, I I think this could hit $6 this week,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go and keep it.
Okay.
What are your feelings on this one?
I love when you
This is
confirm. I love when you confirm my thoughts.
okay, nice. Good. This was like the ultimate pumper stock, right? That just collapsed and.
No, it was the ultimate Tesla counterculture stock because the dude that started it was like his main guy.
This is what, yeah, back in like 2020. Yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah, so that's where that 50-60 bullshit comes from. Then they got Hindenburg short report. You don't got no money. You're lying.
Yeah.
They fired, which was true. Then they fired the CFO, brought in some bunch of new people, and that's kind of where we are.
Okay.
So yeah, no,
It has a fan base. I've noticed,
yes,
even still.
because
Yeah.
the Tesla guy's still there. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Okay, OEC.
I'm gonna pull it, and as a natural gas play, I mean, or what? I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other one. This is the carbon. I like the sector. I'll have more to say about the sector in notes, but I'm gonna take it off the hot list.
And if you're already in this one, it kind of seems like what the market does, this emulates. It's going to pull back no matter what if we're pulling back, and when it's going to trend back up on the green days.
Yeah, and we're pretty close to the bottom. I don't think you're just going to get killed on this, but patience is needed.
Yeah, we have 1450 is our line, and it's held the last month pretty well.
Yeah.
OKE.
Yeah. So this is what I was going to say about natural gas. You're just better off in boil and cold.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll take it off.
Well, this is going to be a whole conversation because it's in my notes. Open real estate in general. I want to address
that. Yeah, I think we should keep open. I just did a trade on open that went. I added. I think actually like 510, 512 was kind of where I added. Got out about 525, 530, but and that was just kind of the stock breathing a bit, but yeah, anything around 5 on this is good, and you could easily see 6 this week in good market conditions.
Like it. Still a little upset, P. You didn't take me to the party on this one. Play.
Yeah.
I would have.
Yeah, and you even put like restaurants in the thing, and yeah, I missed this one.
I would have bought so much at 29 again. I just trust that level so well, so much, and it did. It perfectly came off of it. I mean, what did we go down to? 29.50.
Yeah, and it bounced hard off that. Yeah, it never looked back.
And that's the thing about these stocks we play. Like, if they didn't repeat their habits, we would leave them alone. But we haven't talked about play since November because it responds well. I mean, it responds really, really well. And so yeah, I like it. 33 was the line. We're running back into that. We need to flip that back to resistance.
I want to go and keep it on the hot list because I think it's going to be pretty active this week. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Are you seeing restaurants? Because I am. Boy, I sure
am. I've got Shack showing back up on my radar. It's been a while, and so I'd say whales are kind of nibbling. It seems like the whales are a little behind the chart on this one, so I'd expect them to step in pretty soon.
Yeah, the Portillo's, this, Wendy's, Jack, Cake.
Yeah,
Shack.
I ate there. I ate at Portillo's for the first time on my last road trip. Good stuff.
What'd you get?
Just a hot dog
Oh man,
loaded up.
get the Italian beef and the cake shake.
Okay, I'll get that next round.
I'm telling you, it's life changing. Um, Party.
I almost said Impossible Burger or something. But I didn't.
Impossible burger. I love it. Party.
Um, Party's honestly a leap stock for me at this point,
Agree.
which is another way of saying it's like shares work too. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'll take it off.
I'm fine with putting what you don't have to think about in this. This should not be below $3.
Yeah.
PSNY. Polestar.
Uh, I think I think we should keep it.
How is the flow read for
And
you over there?
I got $12
No, no,
short
I meant
term.
like how is it the clarity? That's what.
Oh yeah, no, I mean since the uh strong since the ticker change,
Okay.
and honestly, like it might have been good before that, but they had it characterized as a financials, I guess, because it was a SPAC. So I'd miss it when I was trying to filter for EVs, but but yeah, no, I like the flow reads on this. I 14 in September would not surprise me at all.
I'm still angry. Okay. Piton.
Um, I find myself a lot of times just kind of staring at the piton chart in disbelief that it's that it's down here. I don't have a reason to hot list it, but I really love the potential here. Um, but we'll put it we'll find a place for it.
My low nines are underwater, but I'm holding them.
Yeah.
I'm in this. I just full disclosure for
Wait,
people.
whales seem to think that this should be a $12 to $15
Yeah,
stock.
yeah, that's where I'm
Is
at.
kind of where I'm at in the longer term stuff.
Yeah, I like. To me, there's going to be companies that you know that are going to come out of this and that are going to get beat to crap. And they're for me, they're one of them. Whether they get acquired or they figure it out, I don't think they're going anywhere. Their model is too unique and good, and no one's besides what Tonal has really came along to even touch the sector, interactive home workout sector.
So, quick question: like during the like full like when COVID was at its worst and all the work from home stuff was popping off. Um, did you reach a point where where you were skeptical and expected a significant pullback? I mean, obviously this one's gone well beyond that, but kind of what was because at that time you still have a lot more experience than me, but I was just getting started, and so what was your reaction to that explosion of Piton, of Zoom, of all those stocks like that?
Oh, I had, especially then, I always had trouble trading stuff that runs. Like if I don't catch the bottom, um, it would be to me when this like got above 50, I was like, all right, we're not going to go anywhere, and it went to like 175. I didn't have the capability to chase things on that bull run. Like I should have made a lot more money that year, um, because again, my style is to find bottoms. Um, so yeah, when it got above 100, 150, I thought this is flipping crazy, but I did not expect it to ever come back below 100.
Yeah, and right, and I think, and as I look back, and as all these collapse, I mean, hindsight is easy to say, oh, I should have shorted all the COVID stuff, but the bull run was so crazy that Piton at 160. I mean, why not go to 300 at that point? Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of just seemed like it just you didn't know when it was gonna stop,
Well,
and
but now we know what happened to the market. Like if
yeah,
you should
yeah,
know what happened to the market. Trump basically took the borrowing handcuffs off people. You could only borrow like 4x your leverage of what you had like the big guys, right? And
Yeah.
he took those handcuffs off um, when the COVID thing happened to kind of keep the market up. And then with the stimulus, all that money was coming in as well. So we just had like a fire hose of money spraying at the market for over a year and a half. Um,
Yeah.
then when Biden came in, he didn't necessarily turn it off, but he didn't up that. He didn't extend it. So
Right. Right.
the first April that Biden was in, April 20th was the day that they had to start settling. So now if you're leveraged over 4x, you got to start taking that back out, and in general the world kind of opened back up. People kind of put their money in other places. The stimulus checks stopped going back out and stuff. So
Yeah.
like that money, that fire hose ain't a fire hose anymore, and that's what you're seeing in these charts. I mean, if everyone got $1 million stimulus check tomorrow, Piton would be probably $100
Right.
because people would flood money into it. And I think that's just what you're seeing in a lot of charts. But yeah, no, I'm 100% P. This thing under 100, I didn't see, and under like 50 to me is flipping crazy. We were trading this at 50 at the drop.
Yeah, and I mean, especially given what happened in like this time last year, right? So it had dipped back to 80, and then came back up to 120, and it was sort of felt like, okay, things are kind of back to normal. It's going to kind of stabilize around
Yes.
here, and then back to 80, and then just a full on collapse. So yeah, no, I was just kind of curious on that. Yeah, taking Piton off for now.
Okay.
Leap lifts for me on that
Rad.
one. Rad is going to be kind of permanent healthcare watch list for me, not necessarily a help for this week.
Okay. Rig.
Really mad at myself for not getting rig after that huge drop. Um, yeah, I want to actually would want to keep rig. Any kind of energy rally this week. This is going back to $3 pretty fast.
I like it. Riot. Pretty sure that's gonna stay.
Yeah, that's gotta stay.
Sweet. Root.
Uh, Taking it off, gonna put it back on. One of my favorite penny plays, but don't need it for now.
Perfect. Run.
Let's see. Gonna take it off for now. Not. I think this could fall back to $20.
I like it. Sand.
Um, Off for now. Gold's got some issues.
Agree. SD.
Taking it off for now, just the reasons we talked about.
Okay.
You like it? Not sure what's going to push it this right now.
I like it. I like the level. I need the catalyst. Shop.
Let's see.
10 days for earnings.
Yeah. Now that this is going to be active, I think
Keep it
on the option side, move to 35 is pretty likely. Yeah, I'll keep it.
Yeah, buy shop on 30 long term. Tech. TECK.
All right. Yeah, I was a little early on this. I like coal. Hot list isn't the venue to deal with it, so we'll take it off.
Awesome. Stone Cold 316. Tell.
Oh yeah.
Telling you, man. Put that line on that chart and tell me I'm wrong.
I want to keep Tell. Flow to 4 is very strong.
Sweet. Oops. Sorry. TTII.
One eye or two eyes?
One. Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take it off. I'll have some comments on it as I see things.
Top.
We should keep that.
Okay.
I got a really strong flow to $8 on it.
Yeah, it's just fucking. We're 2 months down here on this level. Building support just needs that oomph. Both uraniums.
I have a hot list uranium stock that I think is more has a little more room. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna keep UEC. I'm gonna take UUU off. I got flow to 4 on UEC.
Okay. I would need 6 on UUU. Like strong 6s. No, I think we're doing that right.
Yeah.
UXIN. This chart's flipping crazy. What'd you get me into?
Yeah. That's gonna probably test $1 again. I just I don't know where you want to buy it. I mean, if you go small enough, you can just wait. But
yeah.
I don't think we're going back to 40 cents. Dollar test before it collapsed, I think, is what's likely here.
Do you want to hot list it or notes it? It's totally your call.
I'm gonna keep it.
Okay.
Because I'm in it.
Because I'm in it. View. Are they real estate? No, these are windows.
Windows, yeah. I mean, this is going to $2. I don't know how much. I mean, I've got some flow to 250. I'm gonna keep it just because of the spot it's in. I think we get some continuation.
I won't argue. I like the spot it's in. WDC, Western Digital. Golly.
Kind of. Yeah. I got what I wanted from it. I think we can take it off, but one to keep in mind, it does have a pretty. That's a pretty fat gap there, back to 60, and it does have some flow to that. So.
You want to keep it? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Okay. This thing had 10 straight green days right now too, which is totally counter to what the market's doing. You should notice this right here. It's all green.
Yeah, that's it's the flow. The flow was overwhelming. So, it's amazing a stock like that. Everybody talks about all the chop in the market. You can just put some money in and just watch it go up all week.
Yeah, it's nuts. That's the stuff I look for. You will not find me another chart with 10, 11 straight green days. It's yeah. Wendy's.
I'm gonna go and take Wendy's off. It has. I mean, my read on it it's been pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think I noticed it in the 18s. We're up over 20.
Yep. Yeah. 1767 is when we had. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Another one. X.
Gonna be in my sector watch. Doesn't need to be hot listed though.
And then Z.
We should keep Z. Real estate has a lot of potential this week.
Give me 1 second. 18. All right, perfect. Yeah, we're about half of what we normally are right now. Perfect. I like it. All right, let's get into the list that I dropped and see if we have any good flow reads that line up with TA.
All right.
So AI be the first one. Just really confirm this 1850-ish. Looking for that move up into the 20 with flow beyond that, hopefully to 25, I would think.
So I've got leaps to $40. let me get the. Good God. 25 819C. Volume exceeds open interest on that. 2250C for 819 looks bullish. Yeah, pretty much an A for my end. So I think we could add this one.
Let's put it on there then. Alto. I think this is a bottom. Yeah, bottom.
I've been on this one before.
Yeah, no, I got this from you.
Yeah.
Now, it's one thing anyone listening to this, like, I don't care what professor mentions, I put it on a watch list. Because you're consistently early. You're usually not late if you're on something. So I'll start watching it as soon as you mention it because you're early. It fits my style well. I love watching a chart before I enter.
Yeah, whales are buying 819 5C and 1021 6C, leaps to 10 and 12. Yeah, it looks kind of like a bottom to me. The most bullish put contract is 4P. So we're actually below the floor in the options. That's about as good as you're going to get.
All right, we're putting it on.
So,
there. 2 for 2.
Yeah.
This one will be easy for you. CCJ.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of if you want an options play on uranium, that's what you want. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah, the flow on it. Let me just get that real quick. Yeah, 25 is looking very good. Yeah, and that's 25, 26. My line on it, I look for a retest at 21.82 when I'm day trading weekly options. If you're going a little further out with options, you don't have to be as precise as that, but low 20s, move to 25 is pretty high conviction.
21.72 is mine.
That's so close.
And then 25.30 on the top. And we're just at
Nice.
the bottom of that channel, which is why it came up in my notes. CENN.
What do they do?
I always forget. You always correct me on this one. It was DPW.
This is this is naked.
Okay, yeah. I always say it's DPW, and then you correct me. See, we know what we're doing
here. Yeah.
ER coming up is what this thing says on the 18th, which will be tomorrow, and we're basing off of this 159 number I've had for a while now. Totally has range back to 2.
This is
you don't have flow read on this, huh? Let's just notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't get a flow read. Chewy? Kind of gave it a week to breathe. I'm just curious on what you see on a higher level.
Chewy's looking. I actually just looked right before we started. The call's a little bit bearish on it.
Perfect.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean anything other than it's not A+ on my end. Whales are a little skeptical of running it up more for now. So
yeah, we're overextended on my end, but there's a lot in the chart left from last year, so I don't know what really to trust. But we played this off 36. We got a great move on that. Doesn't sound like there's more. Do you have flow read on Clever?
I think 2.5 is the
I'll put
lowest one.
I think just for you in general, I think this is going to continue. If any of the weed plays continue, this will, just because it held mid candle on
Friday. Yeah, and by the way, I mean if you actually did want to play options on it, you can get 2.5C leaps, and they move really well. So
Okay.
Yeah, it's I think either shares small or options small, emphasis on small, but it'll get a good move.
Small leaps. Datadog we covered. DraftKings.
Oh yeah, I think I meant to. I might have myself meant to put this on there. It's time to start thinking about DraftKings and Penn with NFL coming up. Flow is bullish on it, and the contracts that stand out. Another one that never expected to see down here, but what I basically have is a run to 14 and a breakout to 16. That's what I see.
That's what I need. This thing's hard for me to trade because it just fell through the zone, so the flow kind of dictates that for me, and that's perfect. Love it a lot. I'm personally looking for pullback, 1150. That's where I'd go pretty chunky on it, for a little short term swing trade. DNA we talked about. EVgo.
Yes. Yeah, this is still popping off in my filters, and I think I'd mentioned this one. Like it had that big spike, and then kind of pulled back, and I mentioned it. Let me see what we got currently.
I'm looking for continuation to 8. I mean, 10 would be great, but 8. 8's more.
I do have I have 819 8C, 819 10C, leaps to 13.
Wow. So that's our previous line. Both your volume profiles, and that 13 is pretty much the top of like the bulk on the 3-year. I think we got to keep this one.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with what's the other one? There's an EVgo and a Go EV. There's 2 of them. They're almost identical. The other one we killed. It was in our notes. F-Cell. Stop doing
that, John. Yeah, Chargers are in an interesting spot. Let me see. So pretty bullish on my end to 4 in August, which would be, I guess, kind of a reversal in this channel. I have some inclination in the flow that it could dip to a little over $3.
Let's
I mean
wait on this till next week. Let's give this another week.
Okay.
Hertz. Another one of those charts that something came out a few weeks ago, and it really hasn't had a red day since. I forgot what the news was, but something came out.
Let's see.
When we'd be looking for
2250C 819 is a bullish contract. 1750 is my floor on it.
And we're below that. I mean, pennies, but.
Yeah, let's get it on there.
Okay.
I always kick myself on Hertz when it's under 20.
I remember when you said it was 15 and we missed it, and I still ain't messed with it. Jack. What did I like about that chart? Let's go look real quick. Oh yeah, I like this off the 60. Was that your
Jack in the Box? Is
that
what this is?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's all bullish. I got 70C for September. Wonder if they're going to buy someone. Like they bought the taco place recently. All right, yeah. So yeah, could definitely see this getting back to $70 in the next month or so.
Should we hot list it or just put it on the restaurant list?
I'd like to put it on the restaurant list.
Okay, perfect. Kind. Oh, I think you can't get flow read on this one if I don't remember correctly. Oh no, this got
No,
dollars. This got dollars.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got. I just don't have enough
Okay.
volume to really say.
Perfect. MGM.
Um. hmm.
They own the entire west side of the strip now.
Yeah.
They do.
I B for me right now. I think there's some potential if these 35 calls pick up for it to move into AA plus. I want to maybe give it a week.
Okay. Tag me if you see it, please.
Yes. Yeah.
Open.
We covered it.
Oh,
We're
shit.
keeping it.
This is an old one from you too. OUST. I believe they're LiDAR.
Yeah.
It basically lost its shorts, but it's held this level for quite some time. The volume profile is basically 100% from here. Just what brought my attention to it.
Yeah, it's 250C is the lowest it goes.
Oh shit.
So
yeah.
But there, I mean, it's bullish there for leaps. But I think I'm going to lean on you for when to trade this till we reestablish.
I just think the new hot list setup is if they don't meet both sides, it goes to the notes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Your baby, Oxy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my lines on this have been so good.
56.
It's just one of those things I was skeptical of. Well, I wasn't skeptical of technical analysis. I was skeptical that I could do it, and actually make it work. But this is like the confirmation for me. So Oxy, very resistant to heavy selling, has stayed fairly bullish. You got Warren Buffett protecting his position, I think, somewhat.
Yeah.
And like it to retest 60 this week.
More for notes.
57. Yeah, I mean, it'll be in my notes every day. Okay. But yeah.
Pins. Let's go back for one second on Oxy. Like if you would have said 65 this week, that would have been a hot list for me. But with just the 60, it's not enough. So notes. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and you could hit that 5 times this week on options for 20-30% gains.
Yeah.
But on the share side, it's just not enough.
Exactly.
To really make it. Yeah, pin. Holy shit, pins. Yeah, I totally missed this move. What the hell? Insider or what move this?
I think it was
somebody announced a position or something.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No, one of them. What do you want to call them? God, I can't think of the fucking activist investors. One of those guys.
Oh yeah.
I forgot who, but the name wasn't familiar. But yeah, that's what it was.
All right. I kind of need to see. I need to see the open interest Monday
Okay.
to see who just like traded up the run on this, and then who's gonna try to push it further. Because I don't have much beyond 2250 right now.
And I'm looking for 36. That's a bit off.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. PTLO.
Oh yeah, here it is. All right.
I'm a little late here, I think, but I want to know what you see because the chart is so new that if 30's there, or even 25 to be honest, but 30 would be the one I'm looking for. I think this is
1216 30C is the most popular contract at the moment. That and bullish 15p, which again is the same whales doing that, and they're also buying 30p. So they're basically, they're wanting to control a lot of this stock, and that's kind of what they're stepping in and doing.
Buffett's in on this too.
Oh wow! It seems like the kind of stock he might just buy the whole thing. If like he did with Dairy Queen.
I don't know what the deal was, but there was some deal with like the property. I could look back into it. When this first IPO'd, I was really, really on it because I love the company. I don't know exactly how his deals work, but I know they're going to expand to like 600 stores in the next year. So a lot of a lot of room for growth. Short term, I just don't know. That's why I'd like to see the 25s or 30s in the short term.
Yeah.
Or we can wait for some pullback. I don't know.
Yeah, very nice. I looking at these restaurant charts, I'm kicking myself a little that I wasn't looking at those. It's nice.
No, that's kind of half the reason I want the sector lists, right? Because
no, I definitely think so. I mean, just it's a lot. I mean, I track 60, 80 stocks at a time, and so something's always going to slip through.
Yeah, my list is 300 right now. I need to clean it up.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the put this on the watch list, our sector watch list, not the hot list. Roblox.
Yes.
Did we already talk about Roblox?
I think Roblox could hit $60 in the next 2 months. So Flow's really strong on it. But I think we should hot list it because I think if you're looking for an options play to trade with tech, this is probably a good one to look at.
This is baller on the share side. This thing moves $6-7 a day.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you guys need. Sava. 22.5. We're on that. Kind of bounced off that again. I don't have a top end except for the moon.
Oh yeah. Well, one thing about Sava, it meets one of the criterion for us is it's entering the week in a good spot. So let me see here. Well, I don't have Flow beyond 25, unfortunately.
All right, we'll camp.
Yeah.
SD we talked about. VRM.
Let me see if I even have Flow on this.
Oh shit, you might not. No, this got 50 centers. Yeah, you do.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. No, it looks.
You got twos?
I've got 2 for 819, and I got 3C for 819. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty much all.
I'll go notes if you don't have A plus. Either way for me.
Well, there just isn't. There isn't a lot of volume on it. They hit the expiring contracts pretty hard.
Okay.
I think just day traders, but I don't have a setup yet for the new stuff.
That's perfect. I'll just note it. And this is the one charger I did like, and it's my last one here. Um, yeah, it's my last one, which is ChargePoint. I want to,
Yeah, ChargePoint's interesting because there was a like an A plus plus setup on it, and then it got hit with market conditions. And yeah, it doesn't stand out for me going into the week.
okay.
So
I would keep an eye on this one because they got, I forgot who the partnership was, but to do like a Tesla across the nation path, down a highway, like so you can get from
oh, nice.
New York to California on their system. I forgot who they were partnering with though. So yeah, I guess be mindful of that. Perfect. Well, that's all I have. So I'm super happy with how that turned out for the first time.
Yeah.
Much more condensed list. I do like that. Um, three topics we have here. Let's just get to the one I don't want to miss and I want to add to this weekly, which is SPY. Too many people trade it for us to not kind of dissect it every week at this point.
So yeah, so here's my take on SPY is that that bulls have been getting really aggressive buying it up, and they're just not letting it give you a real steep decline. And you're also in a situation where the biggest move is the gap up or gap down overnight. And as a day trader, if you aren't swinging that overnight, which to do that is just gambling. But I mean, if you're not already in it, then you have kind of a really limited potential. And so for one thing I would say is that if you're green on it, don't hold for the bigger move. Just take it. You can re-enter. I mean, I've seen people up 30-40%, and they hold it and let it go red. I don't think you should do that with any trade, but with SPY in particular, that's just gonna eat you up. So okay, so that's my kind of general impression. No matter how bad you think the macroeconomic situation is, we're in a moment where relief rallies are going to keep hitting. Now, the safest way to trade SPY lately has been these pullbacks when it tops out for the day, and you saw that lately. It's around 385. So anytime it gets over 384 or 75 or something like that, you can scalp it, and it's just kind of been pulling back. And yeah, so I think, I guess, like, if you're gonna trade it, let that intraday pattern kind of establish itself. Find a level based on like a pre-market low or pre-market high. Look for retests and rejections on the downside. It's riskier to buy calls, but higher reward because the spikes have been happening rapidly, and that just pumps the value of those contracts when you have them. But just don't hold puts for a long time thinking like, well, it has to go down because the market's bad. Because it can rally and hang out up there for a while, and that just eats you alive.
So I'll try. I guess I'll put this in a question form because I think it's what's going on. But do you think a large part of the problem with SPY and the way our room trades it is that in the other room they traded ODTs for 50, 100, 300%, and people are still trying to emulate that instead of getting the 20 or 30%?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, even it doesn't even have to be zero DTE, but like those weekly contracts, or like, let's say you trade the Wednesday ones on a Monday, or something like that, to where, the feeling is, if I'm not up 50, 100% on this, it's not worth my time. It's It's hard to trade like that. I mean, it's very hard to scalp like that because a 1 minute candle can shake you out of it. And honestly, if you're trading it safely with like a trailing stop or something like that, that's what you would want to expect to happen. So the only way that I would want to hold for the monster move of 200% on some weekly on SPY is if I had a position of, let's say I bought 5 or 8 or 10 contracts, and I clear out most of them at 20% or 15% or whatever. When the chart starts to lag, like okay, let's say that you catch the opening flush, right?
Okay.
That's gonna pause for a minute, and it's either gonna reverse or it's gonna attempt to reverse and break down more. Um, if you're holding your full position for that full breakdown, you're going to get eaten alive on that, and you could be red within about 30 seconds. So you just have to be very careful about that. You catch that momentum when that lags at all,
Take
clear
it.
most of your position.
Take it. Okay. Okay.
And if you want to leave one and put the stop loss at entry, you can do that. But this moves so fast, by the way, that stop loss at entry might not even get filled, and you might lose $10 per contract just because of the way they fill these orders. So even a stop loss at entry isn't a guarantee of break even.
Sure.
That's why it just needs to be like one runner or two. Um, I would not try. I think it's actually more risky to try to swing SPY right now. It might seem safer to say I'll just buy something, 6 months out, and I'll just wait for the market to collapse. That might not happen. I mean, we might get a relief rally that goes on for weeks. You just can't. There's no predicting it. I posted a percentage breakdown of SPY the other day, and I mean, it's Apple and Microsoft are pretty heavy in it, but one of the reasons it had such a good day on Friday was financials. Financials make up about 20% of it. Look at what C did. Look at what BAC did. Those really propped it up, and it's diversified by design, and that can kind of hurt you when you're trying to just predict a direction for the whole market. So, I mean, it's a cliche to say take profits quickly, but you've got to do it if you're trading SPY. Um, I mean, I scalp QQQ sometimes, same kind of deal, but yeah, you can't hold for the 400% move. It'll just eat you up.
Um, do you still get weekly messages about SPY positions?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I do too, and that's half the reason I'm asking. Because I need to educate myself. Because I'm tired of telling people just go ask professor.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I think there's yeah, SPY can be very profitable, and what happens, I think, too, is in hindsight, it's like, man, if I would have gotten in on this. But again, really pay attention to how much of that move happens in in the pre-market, because you're if you're trading safely, you're probably not in it overnight like that. And so then your range on the day is not 2%; it's 0.5%,
yes.
and
Yes.
that's hard. That's hard. It's hard to trade a 0.5% range on anything.
No, I like it. Perfect. I got two charts. Just want to talk about kind of a review. FFIE would be the first one. Um, just kind of want to go over that whole how it started for you and where you said, "All right, this is over. Like this is enough." Um, yeah, just how you feel about it. Because for me, I played that first level, and then about 3 days into it, it confirmed another level, and I didn't play it. Definitely dropped it in chat, and then it took off this week off that level. So um, I missed the bulk of that secondary move, but the first move was so goddamn good that I really didn't worry about it. So just like how did you approach this? How did you play it? And are you like, because for me, I'm done with this play now. It's way too overextended. So I just kind of want to get your feelings on that.
Yeah. All right. So after when it made that move on Thursday, and it dipped back to like 650. The flow was strong enough to 8 for a couple of weeks from now. That it did seem likely that we could get another move there. The way I play something like this from the option side is to basically just try to buy what the whales are buying, which is that 8C for 819, and pretty much try to kind of stick it out to catch the whole move or as much of the move as I can after that kind of initial pop. Like, so if I see a setup like FFIE and we get in early, and I go pretty small, but like I buy like 5 or 6 calls at like $40 or something like that. The first big like parabolic move like that, I'm pretty much clearing it out as it goes up, and then I just leave one and just see where it wants to go. So if it is even though it's overextended, if I'm not seeing a big bearish push on it, I'll just let that runner go and just see where it wants to go, because at that point it's kind of low stress and kind of doesn't matter what happens to it.
Perfect. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, this is kind of this chart. When we talked a little bit, we were talking about Piton, about how things get to running. Like I was fine playing this. I think I forgot what we got on this. I want to say it was like 370. Um, but once it hit that 5, I'm just done. And we've ran 50% from there. So that's kind of my trading weakness, is that if I don't hit the bottom, sometimes I miss the bulk of the move or a majority of the move, even though my move was 50%.
Well, this I think is where that the benefit of that 80-20 approach
Okay.
comes in, because I think with shares that it makes sense. You get your big piece of it, and your 30%, 50%, or whatever, and it's like, okay, I'm out, because sort of the expectation is that this is maybe it's going to top out here, and then this will be a new range that sets up, and I'll just hit it again when it pulls back. But the ones they do sometimes just keep going. If you have monthly calls or leaps on it, and you have a few of those left, you can just leave them and just sort of watch it keep going. I mean, I did that with Clove when I first started to get into flow and options, when Clove had that crazy run, and so to me, like, leaving runners with shares has kind of limited appeal, but with an option contract I bought for $40, that has a couple months left, I'll just let it go, see where it wants to go.
Like it. What was I going to say there? I was going to say something. Oh, so you basically just told me to hold on to my. I made a little bit of, not a mistake, but so Hut, I bought the Hut $5 calls I bought in August.
Yeah.
Just two of them, but they didn't move much. Like 20% is what I'm up. Um,
Mhm.
where the ones, if I would have bought this month's expiration, they went like 200%. Um, because Hut's at 550 now and the closer. But I should hold those August calls right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would, right. And whereas with the shorter term stuff, you want to just clear it out, because here's the thing about options, and this reminds me of that post that you had where someone was talking about the risk with options.
Yeah.
Like, you can be right. Like, you get a rapid spike to like, let's say a stock goes to 550 and you have the $5 call. If it then dips to 530, and it's a short-term call, you're losing a lot of that profit. You're still green, that's fine. And then it goes back to 550. It's worth less than it was the first time it was at 550. That's just how the math works on these options. So you want to just capture that first move, and then that's it. I mean, obviously, like with zero DTE, this is really obvious that you like, let's say you buy a Tesla 750 call on that morning spike, and it spikes up to 720, and you're up 200% on that. It pulls back to 700, you're down 50%. And so like it just very risky. You have to just take your money when it hits. But with the longer term stuff, a month out, you're up 20%. Hut could have a kind of mediocre day, and you'll still be all right.
Riot. Sorry.
Or Riot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Riot could have kind of like a so-so day, and you might dip 5% on that position, but it's just not gonna hurt you as much. So it's just all about risk reward. I mean, the weekly stuff, yeah, it can go 200%. You could be down 50% in 20 seconds, and that doesn't mean you don't trade it. It just means that you do a position where you're willing to accept that risk.
So manage the position for me real quick. I got August 19th Huts. I got them for right around $1. We're at $1.20 right now. The stock is at 550.
Yeah, let me call this up. So what was the expiration on those?
8/19.
8/19. 5C. Okay.
Yeah. I got right at $1. I only got 2.
So
big crazy things here.
I mean, one advantage that you have with that is that they're in the money. So the math is kind of in your favor. If this kind of stagnates a bit, or let's say it dips to 550, because the stock's what, at
557.
557, right? Okay, so we dip to let's say we dip to 545. You're going to be down 7% from where you are now. Tomorrow, and then the next day, 545 would be down 10%. So what you need the stock to do, what you're looking for is a climb into like the 570s, 580s. You'll start adding like 10% per day if it can continue to go up like that. If we were to get a spike to 6, you'd go up another 30% on this week. So yeah, I think so. That's kind of where you are. If you're up 20% right now, I would
on 2
probably not let it go red.
Should I sell one, stop loss at entry?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go.
That's a good way to go. Okay.
Yeah.
So did I make is there a mistake I made in this trade? Should I came closer? No, because I did good on the share side, right? Because I got 480 with 550, but the option side, like, it seems like I did something wrong.
I think you went a little too far out.
Okay.
I maybe would have gone with like August 12th or August 5th.
Okay.
So yeah, I usually go 2 to 3 weeks out is kind of my normal thing for a mid cap stock like that.
A less than 20%, I'll take every day of the week.
Yeah, and I think the thing with options, the psychology of it, because a lot of people get into them because they see these crazy gains that people post on them, 1,000% or whatever. But I mean, if you're making 20% or even 10% in a trade in 5 minutes, why is that bad?
Yeah.
Explain to me why that's bad. Like, I mean, that's a great percentage. And yeah, you're not putting a lot of money into it probably, but you just do it over and over again, and it starts to add up for you.
The the problem with, I mean, this is more for the guys in the room that I see is that they have not the biggest accounts, so that 20% on like this right here, this 17-18% on 200 bucks is like 40 bucks, right? And that's not a
Yeah.
big enough mental win for people, but that's how you grow your account. I mean, I'm a decent size account, and I'm taking that on Monday. I'm taking that 40 bucks. I just am. I'm taking it now. And you got to have that mindset. The tens, the 20s, the 30s, the 50s, the $70 trades are the ones that keep you going and grow your account. And you need to fill those in instead of just always
Well,
trying
yeah,
to
and I mean,
take
if in
big
a
dog.
if in a small account, like you do your $200 position and it's 240, well, you can put 240 in the next one,
That's great.
and and just go from there. And I mean, and the thing about options too is that there's always tomorrow, and you're gonna hit that home run if you're making contact every time you're up at the plate. If
Yes.
as long as you're not striking out and taking 50% hits on positions all the time, and then feeling like you got to win it back. I mean, that's where you get into trouble, because sometimes you're going to get something and it's just gonna keep going. Beyond Meat on Friday, perfect example. Like, made a nice move. Any runners that you had in Beyond Meat, those went up like 600% for next week's contract. So that will happen for you if you just stick at it, because sometimes they'll break through these levels and they'll just keep going. And but just don't try to catch that move with your full position. It's why I like options that are like $40 or $50, because you can buy more of them.
Yeah.
If you buy one Tesla call for 600 bucks, and that's it, yeah, you can turn that into 800. If you feel like that's not enough, that thing's going to be trading at 300 20 minutes from now. So you just have to be really aware of that.
That's really good stuff right there, P. I like that. Real quick on this one, because we're right on that time. AERC. It's another.
Oh yeah.
You
Let me
don't
see
have
here.
you don't have options on it, but it kind of fits.
No, no, I don't.
I'm only mentioning it because it fit the same thing as the FFIE, where it took off from our initial spot, and then it's reestablished the second level that's tradable. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to show those two charts today. We really don't have to get into that. We're right on the time, so
Okay, cool.
perfect. Yeah, really good stuff. I like where the hot list went. Yeah, good start there. And the sectors, you just want to like just put like one in collab, and then we'll build them that way. Um,
Yeah. Let's start with real estate,
okay,
and we'll kind of workshop that through Colab first, and then we'll set up a new page on it, probably to launch like next week or something.
perfect. All right, awesome. Well, as always, it's a pleasure, P. Good stuff. Appreciate your time. Have a great day out there.
Yeah, you too.